Hi, everybody. Here to give you a little bit of a rundown of what's going to happen during week 8. You will notice that we have some reading at the top. William Carlos Williams, HD, and Modernist Manifestos. That's all for Wednesday. It's not a huge amount of reading, but it is something a little bit different. We'll be talking about imagism. I'll put that slide up in a second. In Williams and HD, and Modernist Manifestos, which is kind of like a collection of different uh, important writers of the time talking about, what modernism means to them. Some of them use the term modernism, some of them just don't, but they just talk about what they think literature is. That's very informed by the context of in which they are writing, that time, that place, that occasion. Um, Now for essay one, the other thing I was going to say here is if you look at the discussion, we've got 3 little questions I'd like you to look at for Wednesday. One's on Robert Frost. The other one's about William Carlos Williams. Last one's about H.D., Hilda Doolittle. Now, we have Modernist Manifestos, of course, in this reading too, and I thought, maybe I should have them write on that too, but I thought I was stretching it a little bit thin there. But if you want to add any kind of, insights you have about these very different kinds of writers and manifestations of modernism, I'm totally down for that. So let me go ahead and jump it back there. Here are the peer review instructions. That peering up is going to happen by Sunday, March 1st. That should say Monday, March 1st. Let me get with that. I will be setting you up over Canvas email, and you should be able to email each other through Canvas email really easily. You can search for your peer's name in the peer box. In the search box that's up here in this right corner. I suppose I should show that to you too. Now, when you do the review, you can read the paper once from beginning to end and then complete these first 5 tasks. Okay. Now, I'm asking you, don't mark punctuation or grammar yet. When we go into peer review mode, it's really easy to get into that sense level stuff, but we need to look at the broader picture first. You can have an essay that's completely grammatically correct, beautiful even, but it may be way off topic. So when we're writing an essay, we're building a car here, and your job as the peer reviewer is to make sure the car's got a working engine in it. You're popping open the hood, running a diagnostic, seeing if it runs. You're going to do all of that before you worry about the paint job. All right. So you're going to do that. You'll send these off both to me and to your peer. Second round, go ahead and mark grammar and diction. And finally, once you get that information back, you will send part 3 to me. Now, I believe I put for the review to be sent back to your peer by this Friday. If you want to get it done sooner, that's totally fine. But again, we've got about a week and a half until the final draft's due, but the sooner you knock this off, the more time you and your peer will have to kind of contemplate what was going on, what still needs improvement in your essay. That's where part 3 comes in. I'm going to ask you to tell me what feedback did you find most important. Write at least 3 sentences. Don't have to be huge sentences, but I want to know what about that review made you think differently about your writing, what you might change or think about changing or modify. Now, this is really important too, because sometimes when we do peer review, and I'm certainly no exception to this, what happens is if we're in a live classroom, you get the peer review back from your peer, and you say, "Thanks, bro," and you shove it down into your bag, and you never look at it again. It just kind of like ends up like merging with the hot Cheeto dust and the lip lickers and the baby Yodas and whatever else you got down there. If that's what happens, this is a totally empty exercise. If you do not reflect on and think about what that peer said to you, if you do not put that in writing, it's just busy work. I'm not a big fan of busy work, and I'm sure you're not either. So that's why I'm having you do this part 3. And if you've got any questions on that, let me know. And we'll go ahead and stop this right here, make it a quick little video, and then I'll get into our reading for the week in the next one. The one last thing I wanted to remind you of is that if you haven't looked at the videos on triac paragraph structure, the example essay, and avoiding drop quotations, that's all very useful to you. And it's going to help give you a better idea of how to structure those body paragraphs. Sometimes we just want to throw quotations wherever, just sprinkle them around like fairy dust. But this will help it be more organized and make it look like the quotes are supporting your argument, your analysis, instead of sometimes what happens, they end up just being the book of the paper. And we've probably all done that. We've all probably all put in like massive quotations into papers that we've written because we got a page limit we got to hit. When there's more quotation than there is analysis, it makes it look like you are not driving the bus, so to speak. And I want to make sure that, you know, those quotations help support your analysis and your argument, but they are not replacing it. So that'll be our wrap up for this video, and take a look for the next one regarding our 2 writers for Wednesday, which will be William Carlos Williams and HD.